So that was fun last night, watching Arkansas get the better of LSU after the Tigers beat you down in Baton Rouge. Will Baker didn't do anything last night. He ripped you apart in the Pete Maravich Center earlier this year, and last night he was awful. Had no business matching up with Mekhi Mitchell or any of Arkansas's big men, any pick-and-roll situations. Guys did a good job adjusting. Guys did a good job closing out senior night. We're going to hear from Muss. Want to hear from you on the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Still got spring football to talk about. Sam Pittman spoke with Paul Feinbaum yesterday, gave him some thoughts on this upcoming football team, and it is a Too Stupid Thursday. Got 3 or 4 funny stories that I'd like to tell you about this morning.
All right, that's where we begin, and we're brought to you by the Bobby Garland Baby Shad, made by the millions in Arkansas in their Fort Smith plant. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 volume lure made here, and it's the #1 soft plastic crappie lure that you're going to find out there. The Baby Shad, when you work it underneath a light jig head or with a float as well, you'll find it to be as productive as live bait. Get the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. Variety of colors. You can find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Rusty gets at us on YouTube, and just a reminder, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, live streaming our live video stream on those platforms, as well as hitthatline.com and our app. He says, why doesn't Mitchell start? Well, I think he's pretty solidified. Muss has answered that question couple times in this stretch, that he's pretty solidified coming off the bench. He goes, I think he went 8 of 10 last night, ended up with another really productive outing, which he's had many of those down the stretch, playing his best basketball as an Arkansas Razorback. I would not tinker with putting him in the starting rotation at this point. We see him start last year. We've seen him start some this year, but he's really found his role at this point coming off the bench, and I would keep it as is if I must.
Well, you like that spark off the bench, and sometimes you want to see the matchups, and he is your only big guy, if you will, that can go in and really be dominant on the glass. You got other rebounders, but he's the one that gives you a chance to really battle with their 4s and 5s. So, I mean, you just don't have anyone else that compares physically.
Yeah, you think about him, so he played his final game in Bud Walton Arena last night, as did L. Ellis, as did several Arkansas Razorbacks. Chandler Lawson, the expectation, even though he has a year of eligibility, at least from my end, that Devo Davis also played his final game in Bud Walton. Did not have a great game, did not play a lot of minutes in the second half, but some of those guys, including L and Mekhi, really did show out in their final game in Bud Walton Arena. And Caleb Battle was very emphatic after the game, and he mentioned this. Noah Washington is a student at the U of A and does this ride around show, does a great job, and he mentioned it with him last week that he plans on coming back to Arkansas. Readdressed that last night. We'll have that audio for you coming up, but it sounds like from Caleb's point of view that he plans, assuming he's invited back, which based on the way he's playing as of late, you would expect that to be the case, that he plans on coming back to Arkansas for his final year of eligibility.
What was the quote that was going around, at least from what I saw on social media? I am a Razorback, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. So, listen, I don't know how declarative that is. The NIL world, I don't trust everything till it's done, but we shall see. But it was good to see him win the final game at Bud Walton. It's not been a good home record this year. We could bemoan and belabor that point, but it is what it is. There's no talking's going to change it. What we do know is they will play Wednesday. We do know that now because A&M. And that game tightened up at the end. I watched a good bit of that second half, A&M and Mississippi State last night. Mm-hmm. Mississippi State made a little bit of a run after trailing double digits early in the second half. But A&M wins that game. That eliminates Arkansas from being able to jump into the exemption from Wednesday night, if you will, into those out of that bottom 4. So you were telling me before the show, now with the tiebreakers and the way things, you're going to either play Missouri or Vanderbilt. We do know that. And Georgia goes to Auburn this weekend. Arkansas goes to Bama. It's a matter of seeding, but you're going to play either Vanderbilt or Missouri. And if you'd beaten Vanderbilt 10 days ago or whatever that's been now, you might be in a different set of circumstances this morning.
Yeah, and I don't know what's worse, losing to Vanderbilt twice this season or giving Missouri their first SEC win. Hopefully neither happens next Wednesday, but both of those outcomes would be pretty bad for this Arkansas basketball team. I put a poll out there. Most, at least the fans that I got feedback from, thinks that Arkansas is going to win one game next week. You should beat Missouri or Vanderbilt. Again, they played one of their worst games of the season, especially shooting against Vandy a week or so ago. Missouri, you've beaten twice. I know it's hard to beat a team 3 times, but they're terrible. You should be able to beat them, and we'll see. Again, Wednesday it gets going in Nashville for the SEC tournament. You were locked in to play that at that point.
And what are you, 15-15 now on the season? So I don't expect to win Saturday in Coleman Coliseum. I will say this, though. If you can go and compete on the road at Kentucky, there's no reason for you to not go and compete on the road at Alabama.
Yep.
But I'm not going to sit here and call for a win. So 50, let's just play it out kind of. 15-16, you go and you win on Wednesday, you're 16-16.
In his NFL career, I know Eric Musselman just doesn't want to end up under 500. He doesn't want to miss an NCAA tournament. That's going to happen this year. Big Mike asking via the McLarty Daniel hotline if they have a chance to make the NIT. Based on what you've said, based on what Chuck said, based on what I read, I don't think so. I mean, you've got other teams in the SEC that are above you that are slated already to make the NIT based on them dropping out of the NCAA tournament, or at least
you may have had a hand in that last night.
That's a good point.
LSU is probably not going to the tournament. I mean, we don't like to say, bad loss, but Arkansas is the bad loss on your resume right now. LSU losing to Arkansas probably knocks them out of the tournament. The SEC's guaranteed 2 spots in the NIT. Net rankings have something to do with this. I don't understand all the mechanics of the selection now, but you're probably looking at, here's the thing with A&M. They've got, as I was listening to that game last night, they got 6 quad 1 wins. I think it's the second most in this league. Don't completely discount that. But I would say A&M and LSU far more likely to be those 2 selections. Then you go from there, and then it becomes who's a regular season champ in another conference that didn't win their conference tournament. There'll be 1 or 2 of those. There'll be other teams with better records. But the first thing you'd have to do is the scenario I just laid out. If you can't win at Bama, that would be a huge step in the right direction, but you can't count on that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to win 2 games in Nashville and then get to Friday to even get yourself in a position, from the way I understand it.
Yep.
But net rankings have a lot to do with this now, and I just don't think Arkansas's ranking is going to be in a spot to really help them.
Yeah, and I think they're outside the top 100 in that category. Yeah. But plenty of
But you got a chance to improve some of that, too.
Yep. We got more basketball to discuss. We'll hear from us, Caleb Battle, Jeremiah Davenport, also from Sam Pittman coming up on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Hey, get 0% financing for 60 months or a free front-end loader on compact tractors right now from New Holland at WT Equipment, or you can choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and get select hay tools, or go all the way with a T7 Series tractor and get up to $40,000 in cash back right now. It's the hot preseason savings that's going on New Holland Equipment at WT Equipment. Step into one of the best cabs in the industry and work all day in an environment where you're comfortable and the operation becomes natural. It's all at WT Equipment. 9 locations to take care of you. Find one online at WTEquip.com.
I guess there's pros and cons to procreating.
Most of the pros are over at the very beginning of the process.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is The Morning Rush.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball, and for a limited time, enjoy the smoked Reuben sandwich, along with $2 domestics and $3 premium beer. Fill out a bracket while you're there and win prizes from the Links. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing, next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports. Keep it the good times rolling.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball, with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Subiaco and Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco and Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Makai Mitchell with a rebound for Arkansas. Long lead court to Davenport. He'll lob it to Brazil, and Brazil throws it down.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, so we got some more basketball to react to, and you can do so via the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Some football as well. But Tommy's a Stanley, man. He's got a Stanley over there, and I got to share a story.
You got to go find it. Christian, can you go grab that off my desk for me, please?
It was there. He's kidding, I think.
No, it's on my desk. I left it. I did not leave it in the studio. Seriously, I need it.
Okay. Well,
thank you, Christian.
Listen to this headline. A woman goes viral for claiming a Stanley Cup saved her life from being shot.
Ooh.
Rachel from Steubenville, Ohio. And we'll tell you about that story coming up.
I want to hear about it.
We're Stupid Thursday.
We're brought to you by The Fence Man, the company that you can trust if you own a business or a home that needs more security, more curb appeal. The Fence Man can give you both great-looking fences. I was driving by a home the other day that had a nice-looking wood privacy fence, had the Fence Man's plate right there on the corner. Thank you, Christian. Great-looking fence that had some custom trim. It went around the top rail and done something unique and different. And then after someone had come in and stained that fence, it was the best-looking fence in the neighborhood. I can only imagine what that did for the property value of that home. So if you're thinking about, a great fence is probably an investment when you think about it from the standpoint of property value. If you have animals and pets, you probably need it. If you got kids of a certain age, you want to make sure that they're safe and have a safe place to play. And if you just enjoy privacy in your own backyard, a fence can provide all that. But just think about this. If you spend, I'm just pulling a number out of thin air, $7,000 or $8,000 on a fence, or whatever it is based on the size of your fencing needs, I bet you get every bit of that plus 20% more in the value of your home. Particularly if you're thinking about listing your home anytime soon, selling your home, or you see homes in your neighborhood that are on the market, I guarantee you that fence will not set you back at all. Call the Fence Man, 782-3936, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
JT in Hot Springs asking if I said Steubenville, Ohio. It's spelled Steubenville, Steubenvill, and then Ohio.
All right, what happened?
So Rachel shared.
Stanley, now I'm ready.
Yeah, she shared this video that on February the 12th, it showed a bullet hole in her interior wall, and apparently part of her Stanley Cup took that said bullet, and it ricocheted off to this point.
See that?
There was a shootout in front of her home, and one of the stray bullets went through her house and hit her Stanley, which I guess she was sitting on either the nightstand or next to her. I don't know if she's reading, watching TV, what she was doing, but she has claimed that the Stanley Cup has saved her life. So I'll tell you what, you hold that in front of you. I'll pull out my revolver and shoot it directly in front of your face.
Let me put the trout. I got my wife paint. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I forgot that people can see that now. Yeah. If you're watching our video live stream, if you want to see Tommy's painted Stanley, you can do so on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram.
My wife could do one for you for a fee. Well, not for you. She'd do one for you for free.
No, I was going to say she would. I think Laura would.
I'd have to pay, but I
there you go. But I'm actually curious. I don't think the makers of Stanley, whoever they are, intended it to stop a bullet like a bodysuit would, but evidently
if they knew that, they'd charge more. They're already expensive enough.
For Rachel in Steubenville, and Stanley was already popular enough, but this has grown to, and I don't know if this is a stupid story because one, she's alive. Two, it maybe prevented her from having harmful damage to her body. I mean, you get hit with a bullet, that could kill you.
Well, but I don't understand the pushback. I mean, I've got friends that they're all in. They have Stanleys and love them and find the function. And I got another group of friends that think you're some kind of cis if you have a Stanley and they're drinking from a styrofoam cup. I don't get it.
It's more feminine than it is manly.
But I'm going to tell you, about half the people I hang out with, go play golf with, referee with, about half of them have one.
Yeti just seems more manly. If you're going to have one,
probably the name, but what was more manly in the day than a Stanley coffee thermos that your great granddaddy took to the plant?
You're exactly right.
In his Stanley lunchbox with his Stanley toolbox. I mean, what's more manly than that?
I think the look.
Maybe. I don't know.
The straw, and you mentioned you like the straw.
Well, you don't have to have the straw. I prefer the straw. You can take that out.
And it's
drink right from the lid.
And that's, again, it's versatile to have that, but I think it's just the look of it because the old
bigger,
Stanley,
and it fits in the cup holder in the golf cart. But the Yeti doesn't always. I don't really care what other people think about it. That's fine.
Big Mike said he had the whole old Stanley like his dad. I remember talking about that. Big Mike. It was his dad's thermos. BH and not BE, BH in Clarksville was convinced we were talking about the hockey trophy. No, this Stanley as in the water bottle and the competitor of the Yeti. Now, again, I just have 2 Yetis. I don't have one. I don't have a single Stanley.
I've got 5 Yetis. The different ones because you collect them because people give them to you. You buy them. You lose the lid for one. You buy another. I mean, all that stuff. So I don't care. I mean, people can think what they want, say what they want.
That is funny.
How many vodka cranberries you can fit in that?
Vodka grapefruits, but yes, I would guess that
you're the only one I know that drinks that. And that's fine.
It's fantastic.
To each their own.
They're so good. I grew up on grapefruit, and then you mix it with vodka.
Yeah.
It's good. But yes, that is congrats to Rachel in Steubenville, whose life was...
Congratulations for being alive.
Yeah. For saved by a Stanley at this point. So Stanleys have already gotten a lot of good publications and good pub as of late, but this just kind of adds to it. Like, I haven't seen a lot of negative stuff.
When's the last time a Yeti kept anyone alive,
I mean, like I said, we can test it.
I got a Yeti. I like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I just like the Stanley better because it comes with a handle. They say they make a Yeti with a handle, but I don't have one. So
I did see again. I drink out of a plastic water bottle and a West Rock coffee, and I saw this. Speaking of West Rock, I saw that Scott Ford was named recently to the board, one of the board of trustee members, because a guy in Little Rock.
Well, the Ford, they're behind. I mean, I think their money. From what I understand about West Rock Coffee,
no, sorry, Arkansas board. I didn't need to reframe that. Arkansas Board of Trustees.
Oh, okay. West Rock. Well, I must say you were talking about West Rock Coffee. Yeah. That is the Ford family.
Yeah, that is. It just when I saw this, it reminded me of I think it was an Arkansas business that he has been named. At one point, his dad. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I haven't talked to Will, his son, in a while, who I went to high school with. But at one point, his dad was the guy that spoke at Augusta for the dinner or whatever.
Yeah. No, he was the vice chairman, and Mr. Stevens, Mr. Jack Stevens, he didn't like doing the intro on the TV, so Mr. Ford did that.
That's awesome.
And Mr. Stevens would do the presentation of the jacket, and that's back in the day. We're going back a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, for many, many years, Mr. Ford did the intro to the broadcast that was done by one of the members.
No relation to Henry Ford, I don't
know. No,
believe.
these are the Alltel people.
Yeah.
These are the people that brought cellular phone coverage to Arkansas.
Yeah. Scott from Westbrook said, and yes, Scott, I know it's a Greyhound. He prefers gin in the grapefruit juice. I have not had that combination. I've had a Paloma, but I've not had gin and grapefruit juice.
It'd be a lot like what you're drinking now. So gin and vodka, different, but close.
Close.
Hey, we're brought to you by Sassy. Speaking of having a good time and happy hour, they have happy hour every day from 3 to 6 at Sassy's. You can stop in for that. If you're watching games, and certainly know that the Hogs coming up this weekend on the road at Bama, you can get all kinds of drink specials and fun stuff during the game at Sassy's, either location in Fayetteville. And, of course, try those award-winning wings. I don't think you should get through the game without some nachos as well. You can find their famous nachos as well. And if you need a razor pack, a big tailgate pack to go, take home, they got those online at sassysbarbecue.com. When it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Freddie Coleman and Freddie and Fitzsimmons of ESPN Radio, and you are listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782.
Andy, and he did it in an efficient way like he's done it the last few games. And on top of his performance, Arkansas actually got a win additionally to that. Some of these games that he's gone off, they haven't come away with the W. Chuck was calling it last night, as you just heard, and we'll get his thoughts live coming up in just a sec.
Hey, we were talking about business websites a couple days ago, and I want to bring up Modular Orange again because your storefront, we used to, back in my day, back when I was a kid, or if you watched the Christmas Story movie, when they go window shopping, they got all the storefronts done. Well, your storefront now is your website. That's where people look and make decisions and form opinions about your business, your product, and your service. They do it online at all hours of the day, all days of the week. And if you're not making the right first impression online, it's probably costing you a customer. What does a lost new customer lead cost your business? You probably know that in your head based on, what business you're running. Get a great looking website that's completely done by Modular Orange. They'll write it, design it, launch it, host it, secure it, help you keep it up to date. You could be very hands off with this for $95 a month. Well, what's the other catch? There aren't any. There's no down payment up front. There's no extra fees. It's $95 a month. And I've probably been a part of 25 or 30 of these website build outs with our advertisers here that we've turned over to Modular Orange. They're all done within 30 days, and they all look great. And I've not had one of our friends and family here of advertisers be unsatisfied with it. $95 a month. So if you need help with your website, call our friends at Modular Orange. 479-755-3043, 755-3043, or go to modularorange.com.
What's up, Chuck?
Guys, how you doing?
Man, we're all right. It's good.
That was a clever intro there. What's up, Chuck? That was clever.
You've probably never heard that before. Hey,
that was good.
At least you had a 6:00 game last night.
Yeah, that was nice.
Not too quick a turnaround for being back this morning, and the Hogs win the final one at Bud Walton, or what we presume to be the final one.
Yeah, it was the final one, and it was a good win. When you lose to somebody before, you want to beat them the second time. And so, Arkansas was able to do that. I think Muss now is, I think I read after the game, Kaywood sent me a stat. It was 20-8 against teams where they've beaten him one time in the year and they had a payback game with him. So they got a little payback last night. And, now you go to Alabama and you just try to keep the momentum going. They're locked into Wednesday night now. So they know what they've got to do. And so first thing you got to do is go play Alabama.
Yeah, well, I said earlier in the hour to Ty, if you can go to Rupp Arena and compete, obviously they didn't win, but was it 111 to 102 or whatever it was? You can go do that. Tell me why you can't go to Coleman Coliseum and at least keep the gloves up all the way to the 40th minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's two very, very similar type teams. And Arkansas is playing well right now, and we as fans sit back and look at the big picture, and we wonder, well, why haven't they been doing this all along? And then we say, well, it's not really going to matter anyway. But when you're playing, it does. When you get out there and you toss the ball up and you start playing, it does matter who wins. And so they're going to go down there and compete, and I'm sure for 40 minutes they'll get after it. Now, whether or not it's going to be exactly like in Lexington, I don't know. But I don't think that the players right now, my sense, when they were in Lexington and when they played last night, I don't think they're sitting here thinking about, all is lost. Let's get to the finish line and let's get this over with. I think fans, generally speaking, since about the middle of February, have thought, hey, let's get this over with. But as a player and a coach, you can't do that. And I think right now they're enjoying the fact that they're playing well. Regardless of what's happened before or regardless of what may happen after.
Yep. And here's what Muss said in regards to that.
Even some of the games that we've lost, Mississippi State, Kentucky, 2 road games, 2 road environments. This basketball team is playing as good, if not better than at any time all season. And that's what you want a team to do, is improve. And 52 points in the second half tonight is a lot of points to score. So scoring the ball, understanding offensive schemes and such, we've really improved. I think this team is continuing to gain respect amongst other teams in our league. I get texts from other coaches and people around the league that, we're playing better basketball. And it's hard to do when you're sitting around 500 or whatever.
See, I think that goes to the heart of the matter right now. They're gaining respect from other teams around the league. When you're a competitor, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think that's where they are right now. I think they like the fact that other teams around the league respect them more than they did a month ago. I think that's what's fueling them.
Yeah, and you saw in Kentucky, again, we mentioned on Monday that Cal had those guys stay in a hotel. Still didn't look like they were fully ready to play Arkansas. Ended up getting that win in that second half. But that's a big part. And I also think he kind of elaborated. So earlier in the season, again, transition was an issue offensively. He talked about how they weren't getting out and running. This team last night, for example, you saw it against Kentucky last game. Big guys are running the lane. L's pushing the ball more. Minifield's not been playing lately, and that's been a big part of their offense. The way they score 80-plus last night or 90-plus last night is they're getting out and running more, and they're actually executing on the fast break, which they weren't doing to the front half and the middle parts of the season.
For all the talk about Battle, and he has been magnificent, I think Ellis has played well of late, and I think that's a big reason that they're better offensively. I think their ball movement's good. I also think, too, that there's recognition of who's got the hot hand, so to speak, right now, or who's got the favorable matchup. Let's get him the ball. Let's get him the ball in a position to score. Let's not just get him the ball and get out of the way and see if he can beat a guy one-on-one. Let's actually get him the ball in a spot to score. Look at the way they ran the baseline last night. Look at the backdoor feeds that they made along the baseline that led to baskets. That's team basketball. But to me, if you're going to be good offensively, you've got to have the scorers. You got to have all those guys. But you got to have a point guard above all other things because he's the one that makes it go. If you're good there, you've got a chance to be good offensively. If you're not good there, if you're not good at point guard, I don't care how many scorers you've got, you're going to go through periods where you really struggle.
Yeah. But to Ty's point, 26 of the 83, almost a third of your points were all fast breaks. And Arkansas, even on live ball turnovers, haven't been able to convert a lot of turnovers. There was just 10 turnovers, and the points off turnovers were 12. I'm assuming of that 26. I don't know that all 12 of those points came on fast breaks, but Arkansas hadn't had a lot of games I don't remember, and I could pull all the box scores where they've scored 26 points off of fast break points.
We've seen chances on when the same number of offensive rebounds and they don't have anywhere near the same second chance points, and then on the fast break category they'll force a lot of turnovers like you're saying, and they won't convert those into points, which has been a huge part of this team the last couple of years. So, and Ellis, like you said, Chuck, what did he go 6 for 7 last night? I mean, he was fabulous, and that's his final game in Bud Walton Arena. He's been inconsistent all the year. For him to bounce back in this game was big for this team last night.
If you're going to get transition points, if you're going to get fast break points, your guards have to rebound. Look at the rebound totals for the guards last night. Mark had 8, Battle had 4, Ellis had 6. When a guard gets a long rebound and he can turn and lead you up the floor, that's when you've got a chance for transition buckets and fast break points. And I think that's real critical. I always look at how many rebounds the guards get, and I always try to draw a correlation to fast break points, transition points, how you do in the open floor, because that's when you've got the opportunity to do it. Because a lot of times when your guard gets a rebound, it's a long rebound, or it's off a corner 3 from the other side of the floor, and you're getting that backside rebound, and away you go. To me, last night, when I looked at the guards' numbers in all phases, I thought they were really good, and I thought that was the real key last night.
And to your point, when you get that, what happens? Generally, either someone takes it from the rebound to the hole, or they make a great pass to set up the points. Well, who do you want the ball in the hands of, a guard or a power forward to make that pass, or who's going to be able to run the floor? It's a guard that's going to outrun somebody and get to the basket before they can get between you and the basket. So, to your point, that's exactly right. The guards have to be the spark there because they're either going to have to outrun a defender or make a great pass to set up the points.
Well, look at how many teams just don't stop the ball. Look at how many times a guard will get a long rebound and he'll go end to end and just go all the way to the cup.
Yeah.
Nobody stops the ball. So, yeah, I think when your guards play well in the rebounding area, I think that's where a lot of your transition starts, and I thought that happened last night.
So we've talked about Caleb Battle a little bit this morning. He got asked after the game about his final year of eligibility. Here's what his response was to Bob Holt.
I'm a Razorback. You're planning to come back? I'm right here. I'm a Razorback. Ain't nothing changed. I'm a Razorback until the end. So
So you said this earlier. You're right. NIL's different, change things. Transfer portals change things. He mentioned
I wouldn't bet the farm based on that.
I wouldn't either. And he mentioned last week on a student's this video ride along show, Noah Washington, that he plans on coming back next year. But again, things are subject to change. I remember following the loss to North Carolina in the round of 32 game, Bobby Portis alluded to coming back the following season. He didn't declare for the draft. Like, things change during the course of a couple weeks or a couple months. But I know that's been a big talking point for a lot of listeners is, will Caleb come back for another year of eligibility? At least sounds more positive than negative in that situation.
Well, I don't think he's disingenuous at all in what he says. I think he is sincere in what he said. I've said all along, I've said on this show, there's going to be more guys back off this team next year than you think. I think everyone in January and early February thought, well, nobody's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to blow the whole thing up. There's going to be some guys back. And my personal opinion is he will be one of them.
Would you say this team's somewhat turned a corner, but it's just way too late in the season? Would you say the last couple of weeks they've turned a corner that they needed to find 8 weeks ago, they just didn't?
Oh, I think that's fair. Or at least I sure don't think it's unfair.
Yeah.
If there was another month in the season, they'll be talking about how Arkansas is not a team you want to play in April.
Yeah, well,
well,
we were saying that way before the season started, but
the
we had
point
different
is
plans in
not.
April.
Yeah, I mean the point is there's not, and yes, in many respects you are out of time. Last night, going to have to win 5 games.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens, they're still going to have to win 5 games in 5 days to get to the NCAA tournament. Otherwise, the season's going to.
What you may have done, guys, last night is knocked LSU out of the NCAA tournament. And what you may have done is, I don't know what's going to. A&M's got a lot of quad 1 wins. I don't think they'll make the tournament, but who knows? They're a team that could make some noise in Nashville. But this whole NIT thing, I still, I just don't see Arkansas making it just based on the way they select them now.
Yeah, as I've said before, I think we cross that bridge when we get there. Now, we're getting pretty close to that bridge, but I'll be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, but I think you probably put LSU out last night. I don't know that.
I think they've been out. I think going into the game, LSU was in the same spot Arkansas was in. Big picture, they were going to have to win the conference tournament to go to the NCAA.
Okay. Well, last night didn't help them.
No,
put it that way.
Because their net's been up in the 90s generally. Their net's been really high.
Arkansas's is outside the top 100. So,
Yeah.
again, wasn't a great loss, even though it was on the road, not a great loss. And that's kind of what we've talked about. It's like it's not a good thing when you lose to Arkansas this year.
Making the NIT, to me, doesn't do anything to improve the cachet of the program or the future of next year's team. But I think one thing Muss would like to find a way to do is not finish below 500, and that means – if you can't win Saturday, let's just be honest, that's a big ask to go win at Coleman Coliseum Saturday against a team that's had some tough times in the last week or so against good teams. But Alabama's a much better team than you are. Then you got to go win Wednesday, Thursday, and try to get to Friday to have a chance to at least finish at 500.
Well, you think about how difficult. We talk about winning a tournament in 4 games, 5 games. To win a tournament and win 5 games in 5 days, it means you've got to win Wednesday. And by the time you get to Friday, you're going to be playing one of the top 4 seeds, and it'll be your 3rd game.
Yeah.
And it'll be their first.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really tough to do. Big picture, I don't think anything changed last night, just as I don't think anything will change if you beat Alabama. But this is how the season's played out. And they're playing their best ball at a time when some would look at it and say, well, it's too late. Well, maybe from a big picture standpoint it is, but it doesn't mean you still can't enjoy it.
Yeah, and before we close on basketball and shift up, I do think that the Wednesday night teams a lot of times have the advantage over Thursday because you do get that 1 game. 2 games is more of a disadvantage than an advantage. But if Arkansas was to win next Wednesday night, it depends on who they match up with on Thursday. You'll play Missouri or Vanderbilt on Wednesday. Who they match up against on Thursday, I think they have an advantage against just playing in that arena, getting used to just that facility a little bit. I know those teams get to practice, but it's not the same playing an actual game than it is.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree with that. But I doubt you see, generally speaking, you're not going to see teams that play on Wednesday still around after Friday.
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
Generally speaking,
we've all been there. You guys been there more than me. It's a hockey arena, so the seats behind the goals and the sight lines behind the goals are different than a normal basketball arena because there is a lot more room behind the goals to the stands than there is in a normal basketball arena because it's a hockey arena.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit different sight lines, and how that affects them. Some players say it's a bigger deal. Some think it's no big deal, but it is what it is.
Well, it's it'll be fun to go, and we know what they're going to have to do now. They're going to have to win on Wednesday night, and they'll play till they lose. And, but it sure was good to win last night. Hey, if you're buying or selling a home, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, is the name that I would recommend to you. And I do that based on my experience as a buyer and a seller. And I think when we recommend someone based on our experience, that kind of tells you how things went. It certainly went well for me. It was a first-time home buyer, the first time we partnered up, and it's just kind of moved on from there. And that's kind of how it works in life. It's the most money, generally speaking, you're ever going to spend. And with the housing market and the economy and interest rates and all the things that are going on, you want somebody on your side of the table that understands the process intimately, does it every day, makes it their profession. It's not a side gig, and that's what you always find at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington County. They're in Benton County. They're in the River Valley. They're in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about that office. They're in Branson. They've opened an office there. Services North Central Arkansas and Southern Missouri. And if you really want to check out their selection, and I mean it's a good selection, you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
So spring ball starts up this week today. Sam Pittman's excited. I know there are a lot of questions, not just about certain position battles, what it's going to look like Petrino with the OC. Here's just kind of an overarching view of what Sam said about spring ball starting up.
We're excited about spring ball starting up, and we've got a lot of new quarterback and to look at, running backs, 2 tackles, center, a lot of people. And then we have several coming back on defense from last year's team. We added to that too. So really pleased with the 7.5 weeks of preseason workout. And Ben Souders and his group did a wonderful job of getting them stronger and faster. And we'll start tomorrow, so we'll figure out a little bit more about the team starting tomorrow.
That was Coach Pittman on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday. The biggest position battle is the starting quarterback. Guys, I think the second one, the one that people are most intrigued by, though, is linebacker. You lose a lot of guys. Jaheim Thomas goes to Wisconsin. Poopball goes to Ole Miss. You bring in Xavier Story, the 5-star kid from Georgia. Brad Spence showed some flashes last year. Again, quarterback's going to be the easiest fruit to pick from the tree, but I think linebacker might be the second most intriguing position battle that we'll see this spring in this fall camp.
Well, there's going to be a battle there. I don't know that it's going to draw eyeballs when people are in the stands necessarily the way the quarterback will, but yeah, they've and I'm not sure they're done as far as what their linebacking personnel is going to be. But now I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's a Drew Sanders that's going to be out there in the portal in April because I don't believe that. But they might add they may add a body or two before it's over.
Let me give you a position battle I think people will talk about beyond the quarterback, and that will be running back, right? Rocket gone. I mean, do y'all think anything's settled there? I think that's going to be one people watching. Obviously, running back's going to be one where you go 2 or 3
to say out loud, that's what a football player looks like.
He was.
And Kiero Small is one of my favorites.
If you watched off the ball, sometimes he'd lay a block or hit a guy or pick something up, and it's just incredible.
The best example, I would say, go watch that LSU game in 2010 where Arkansas just ran all over them, and LSU had just got obliterated. They just decided, like you said, to run the football to win, and Kiero was a big part of some of those Nile Davis runs at that point. Now, you mentioned Petrino there. That still might be is probably the biggest talking point for Arkansas fans in the offseason, and, of course, Sam Pittman asked about him as well.
Well, I just wanted to win, and to be honest with you, I thought Bobby gave us the best chance to win. That was really the reason that I picked up the phone and called him. Then after I visited with him, his love to come back to Arkansas and his drive to come back and be a part of the university. I know a lot of folks may think, well, he came back to be a head coach and all this kind of stuff. I don't worry about any of that. I just want to win. I want to win for the university, for the state of Arkansas. I want to make the people proud. And I thought this was the best way we could do it, but it's worked out extremely well. Bobby's a wonderful person and has been very, very loyal and been very, very good with our kids since he's been here.
Let me throw something out here. I know a lot of people have wondered, what that relationship was going to be like, what Petrino was going to be like in the building, what was the dynamic going to be. I've not been around football right now because I've been working with basketball, but the people that I know that have say it's worked very well, that Petrino's been great, and that the working relationship within the building is good. So I don't think that dynamic among fans should be a concern. Now, look, Sam Pittman's still the head coach. But as I've said before, I know Bobby Petrino well enough, and I don't know him well, but I remember well enough when he was here that I know he has respect for coaching protocol. He has respect for the order of business, so to speak. I don't think this is going to be an issue whatsoever. And when Sam Pittman said, all I want to do is win, I believe him.
Yeah.
Their fates are tied together. And, Bobby or Sam Pittman knew that, if I don't hire a good offensive coordinator, we don't score some points, I'm going to get fired. Who's the best one available? Well, it kind of looks like it might be Bobby Petrino. So I'll go talk to him.
Are you would you consider yourself a different person personally and professionally now versus 15 years ago?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, and
I'm sure he is too.
Yeah, exactly. I think we all just think that Bobby Petrino 2009, 2010 is what you're getting again. That, he's a different
he's been humble just like we all get humbled as we age.
Exactly. Hey, March Madness, we're right on the doorstep. If you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, it's Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. 7 out of $10 in our state bet on mobile sports betting apps come from or go through Bet Saracen. Whether it's March Madness coming up, the NBA with its playoff stretch coming up soon, it's all there, and it won't be long, and Major League Baseball will be back. Be sure and get the Bet Saracen app. Go to BetSaracen.com, watch the videos on how to use it, have more fun. It's the Bet Saracen app, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Get it now in the Apple App Store.
All right, hour 2 coming up on a 2 Stupid Thursday. Still some funny stories to get into, including naked bowling.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Get ready for a new year of work with limited time savings on Bobcat equipment at Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas and Rogers. Get as low as 0% for 72 months on a Bobcat compact tractor, or choose a free front-end loader when you buy with cash. Special offers are also available on Bobcat zero-turn mowers with financing as low as 0% for 48 months, or rebates up to $900 on select models. Call Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas or come by to get these great deals. Hurry, these offers end March 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number one volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
This is the Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Subiaco and Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco and Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
The Mega Millions jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $600 million. So, what would you do if you won?
Just blow my money on ridiculous, crazy materialistic things that have no value. Cars, jewelry, clothes.
I've always dreamed of visiting Greece.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the Mega Millions jackpot of more than $600 million. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms are high temperatures this afternoon in the low to mid 60s. We're looking at wet, some stormy weather tonight, mid 50s. Occasional showers and thunderstorms as we head through Friday. Our high on Friday in the low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Makai's 8th rebound, and the Hogs are going to run it out. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Arkansas is going to win the ball game. The Razorbacks get even with LSU. They even the season series, and they beat the Tigers 94-83 on senior night.
You know, I like our rotation, what we have going on right now. Sometimes during the course of the season, you're constantly tinkering, and if you pick up the box score from the last time we played LSU, it's a much different look than we were then.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Saw a happy Eric Musselman on senior night after his basketball team scored 90-plus in a victory over the LSU Tigers. Plenty of time to talk basketball, plenty more time to talk Sam Pittman in this hour. But I do want to share this story on a Too Stupid Thursday. Some Pittsburgh area naturalists have a balls out bowling event where nudity is required to attend. And we'll share about that story coming up.
Brought to you by APAC Arcola. They're in Northwest Arkansas. They're also in the Harrison and Mountain Home areas in Boone, Marion, and Baxter County. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, concrete finisher, diesel mechanic, electrician, got experience paving asphalt or finishing concrete, they've got jobs for you. If you've worked in a quarry before, jobs are available right now for you that have top pay, great benefits, sign-on bonus, benefits that include not only a robust insurance package, but retirement and profit sharing as well. Hey, if this interests you and you're looking for a new opportunity, a new company, a great job, go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
So this is going to be held in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Crafton Ingraham Lanes on Sunday, April the 28th. You got to be 18 or more. The ladies can wear bottoms, but you're required to be nude if you're going to attend this bowling event.
Well, brings a whole new meaning to the word gutter ball.
I don't know.
So.
I don't know if, let's see, Arkansas baseball that weekend takes on Florida. Has Phil told you he's flying back to Pittsburgh that weekend, Chuck, and you're going to have to do the game?
Haven't heard that yet.
Okay.
I've not heard that yet.
That is not something I would want to do play-by-play.
No, I don't either. Apparently,
See, here's the problem. You go out of the country, you go to Mexico, you go to Europe, and I'm going to go to a nudist beach. I'm going to, I'm going to be that guy. I'm telling you, the people that go and that will participate in this deal are not the people you're envisioning. This will not be supermodels there. So that's the problem with these kind of things, Ty. You got one vision in your head,
and it's something else.
And it's going to be old Melvin from 3 blocks over that, it isn't going to be as pretty as you think it's going to be.
JT in Hot Springs and Andy asking the question if they have to wear bowling shoes. That's a good question. I know it's
that would complete the outfit.
It is a ticket event required. You cannot buy a ticket at the door. So if you want to attend this ticket or this event in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, coming up at the end of April, you have to wear it before. No video and photography is allowed as well for those that were thinking about going that might take a souvenir back with them at that point.
We'll let you go and report.
No, this doesn't look like an event. I just, on a Too Stupid Thursday, I felt like that we had to let this out. Balls Out Bowling is back, and apparently this is a yearly
surprised
event.
it's legal. Surprised,
it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Who knows what's legal at this point? Phil's texting this morning. He will not. You don't have to worry about doing the game that day, Chuck. He will not be going to this event. So we don't have to worry about that. He does have Arkansas baseball this weekend as you take on McNeese State. You're back in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for basketball this weekend. Softball game was canceled today, by the way, for those that weren't aware of that because of some inclement weather that is heading to Fayetteville. So that's
some rain this morning. So
already.
There, yeah. So, we're going to have rain today and tomorrow. So, that'll interrupt. And hopefully this weekend, I don't think baseball should be interrupted this weekend. I was looking, Friday's going to be the only chance that there's some rain in Fayetteville that might interrupt things at Baum Walker. But hopefully that rain moves out. There's a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. Let me look what hours that's going to be, but I think we'll be just fine for baseball. Well,
it's going to cool down a little bit.
It'll cool down, but rain should start in the 5 o'clock hour. I wonder if there'll be any desire to move up Friday's game, or if they'll just chance it and play a doubleheader on Saturday.
I have no idea.
Whoops.
I know they're scheduled to play at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I know they're scheduled to play at 3, but I'm just saying the forecast I'm looking at right now, rain begins at 5, and there's going to be like nearly an inch of rain that's forecasted for tomorrow.
Well, we'll see if it gets played out. Speaking, again, this isn't going to reach the degree of craziness that event in Pittsburgh, but Chuck, have you seen the Barry Odom bull riding thing just yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I think we talked about that the other day. Yes, I have seen it.
Well,
it was very quick.
Sam Pittman got asked about it. He had quite a funny response.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't know it happened. I'm off of the social media, and it's a good and a bad deal. The bad is you don't know nothing. So Monday morning, somebody said, "Do you know Barry rode a bull?" I said, "No, he didn't." And they said, "Look at it." And so he about got knocked out. So I texted him and I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said it's 150K rides, I said, "Dang." And of course I got on Twitter, now I'm supposed to ride a hog or whatever, all that kind of stuff. But it was insane. I said, "Did you have any training?" He said, "Well, no, they told me how to hold my hand and all that." I said, "Bro, there's got to be a better way than raising 150K. But that's Barry. He's tougher than hell. He always been that way, and I'm just glad that he didn't get hurt.
You want to raise money for NIL? Get Sam Pittman on a wild boar. People will flock to that. They'll pay for that event. They'll send money via what's the I can't think of the Twitter, how you send people money on that. I'm forgetting the app, but that is a perfect way to raise money for NIL or just the football program as a whole. We need Sam Pittman on a wild boar. Hopefully Sam will be okay with that. Didn't sound like he was 100% on board yet, but maybe
I never heard of wild boar riding.
I haven't either. So. But it'd have to be a pretty big boar. I know there's wild boar hunting, which I didn't realize that they were that big of an issue in certain.
I don't think you understand how fierce wild boars.
Yeah, I don't think he does at all. So they'll kill you.
That's what Hogs.
You would not be riding a wild boar.
That's what Hogs do on a football event, man. Every once in a while, they kill you. I had lately. That is true, but I'm trying to do that a little more this season.
You go to Texas and do a hog hunt from a helicopter.
I've seen those videos before.
Now that would be cool.
I've seen those videos.
Yeah, there's nothing more sporting than flying above something that doesn't know you're there and blowing it away.
Listen, it ain't about sport. It's about getting rid of them varmints. They're bigger than varmints.
Just making a joke.
No, they're not.
They're not even worth it.
Don't get up in arms about it.
I'm with Chuck. Be a man. Get on the ground. I'm a man. I'm with Chuck on that sense.
Or I'm telling you, talk to anyone that owns land. Man, if you get hogs on your land, it is like one of the worst things that can happen to you. They tear up everything. That's why you want to kill them. That's why you want to eradicate them. One of your favorite words, eradicate.
Eradicate. Yeah. Well, that's what.
Could you spell that for us if you had to?
ERIDICATE.
You've already messed up.
Let's just move on. Let's move on to something easy like cat. I'll sponsor the CMBA. How about that?
Do a Thai spelling bee to raise money for NIL.
I would have bet everything on he couldn't spell eradicate.
Andy Mounthome says we need to watch Hannibal to see what wild boars can do. Now Hannibal, is that the
that's the sequel or whatever you want to Silence of the Lambs.
Okay. I have not seen that to this point.
Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
So, there you go. All right. Good deep dive on sports right there, boys. Way to go. Good job. Brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina. Fajita Friday is tomorrow. It's Nacho Average Wednesdays, but today is Throwback Thursday, right in the middle of some great specials towards the latter end of the week. Be sure and stop in today. One of the old classic Cuco's platters. They'll have that on special today. And then on Saturdays, they do endless enchiladas. $15. This is Ty's kind of deal. All the enchiladas you can eat on Saturdays for $15 with endless enchiladas. Hey, great Tex-Mex, even better service. You're going to love it at Joe's, and they'll have the Hogs on TV. Always half-price apps and taps during the game. Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
All right, our Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. And again, we're going to hear from Tom Murphy and more from Sam Pittman and Eric Musselman coming up next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from tuning.
This is Austin Allen, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner. Right at the end, drink that
Drink
milk.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Was y'all's parents the same way? We were only allowed to have certain cereals because the others were too sugary.
We transitioned from eating whatever cereals we wanted to Special K with fruit, which lacked flavor.
Shredded wheat was the worst.
You
know, when I was a kid, I hated Cheerios. Now it's my favorite cereal.
I didn't mind the Honey Nut Cheerios were
those
pretty
are
good.
very good.
Frosted Flakes is what we always wanted, but we're never allowed to have.
Like you said, they're just coated.
It's just pure sugar.
Coated in sugar, which you can have as a kiddo. As long as you brush your teeth and you run and stuff, you should be okay. I mean, it's a little transition out.
Shredded wheat was like eating hay. I mean, it really was.
I don't know how they're still in business. Is that like are they on a Kellogg and they just?
Do you ever have that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like eating. You might as well just put milk on a bale of hay. Terrible.
Jace doesn't like the soggy cereal. He's not a fan of letting it wait. He goes to work. Braylon likes the peanut butter Cap'n Crunch. I like the Cookie Crisp and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is solid.
That was what but oatmeal. I'm going oatmeal. Oatmeal, a little brown sugar, a little cinnamon. That's the way to go.
Nothing wrong with oatmeal, but if you're going to give me my choice. I'm going with cereal.
I know you chose cereal, Chuck, but do you enjoy oatmeal at all, or do you
It's okay. I'm not anti oatmeal.
No.
But I would prefer cereal, I guess.
If I'm like you. If I'm going oatmeal, I'm going brown sugar, but I'm also adding raisins.
I'll take the like.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not.
You could stand on that island by
That's
yourself.
Fine.
Dean Fort.
They wouldn't put them out there at the Hampton Inn if people didn't like it.
Fair. Dean Fort Smith says he loves the frosted mini wheats. Justin from Springdale likes the Raisin Bran Crunch, so he's a Raisin Bran like yourself, as does Michael. Andrew wants to know if we've had grape nuts before. Is that a brand of cereal?
I've had grape nuts. Yeah. I've had grape nuts.
Is it good?
It's been a while.
They used to market that as like a weight loss deal back in the day. You eat your grape nuts in the morning to help you lose weight.
Did you lose weight?
I didn't eat it. No. And that's just how they marketed it.
Oh, Andrew, if you lost weight while eating that, please let us know.
Raisin Bran was on the approved list at the Craft House, so we could have that when I was a kid. Growing up, you're told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and now I don't believe
you're
that
told.
anymore.
It was just those brands just paid for marketing.
Yep.
They probably paid the is it the FDA? It's a Food Drug Administration. Yeah, the FDA probably paid them off, and they're like, yeah, breakfast is the most important meal, so we can sell more products. In reality, you're better off when you don't eat breakfast sometimes. And on that, you can have breakfast food, but I don't know. I just
Who told you you're better off if you don't eat breakfast? Who told you that?
The people that intermittent fast. Your body eats its own fat and stuff like that. JT in Hot Springs said big breakfast is marketed breakfast. Andrew Tulsa said he didn't lose any weight because he was 8 years old. Yeah. Probably not a thing. Russell in Huntsville likes the oatmeal and blueberries. You guys had that?
I'm sure it would be fine.
Okay.
I've had both. I've had oatmeal and blueberries before, not together.
I don't know what a malt. Doug in Little Rock says he put
malto meal,
butter and milk. What is malto meal?
Isn't that like I don't think it's grits necessarily, but it's.
Well,
it's
it's like a liquid that like becomes somewhat. It's got a little substance to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like oatmeal, I guess. It's soft and you stir the sweet into it.
What am I?
It was around. It was fairly popular when I was a little kid. I don't recall much about it though.
But isn't malto meal kind of like grits when you get it prepared?
It's got a little something.
Now grits are elite. Cheesy grits are above cereal or.
Well, but it wasn't that tasty. It wasn't shrimp and grits. Let me put it that way.
Doug says it's melted barley. Dr. Tyler likes oatmeal.
I like liquid barley.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Tyler likes oatmeal with honey. Jazz in Fayetteville said his bad habit is eating cereal as a late night snack. Dalton texted on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. He says that Kashi cereal growing up was the worst. You ever had Kashi cereal?
Doesn't sound good.
He enjoyed the Fruity Pebbles.
All right.
Did you have Fruity Pebbles?
Nope. Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles
Cocoa
too.
Pebbles. Okay.
Yeah, there were Cocoa Puffs and Cocoa Pebbles.
Cuckoo, and you can remember even all these years later. I can like Tricks Are for Kids, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You still have
Snap, Crackle, Pop, Rice Krispie.
Shows how impressionable you are when you're a kid, doesn't it?
They're ingrained in your age because marketing is what's the deal with marketing for cereal? Isn't it like towards children and women most of the time? That's how they spend their money.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoons, man. There'd be a bunch of cereal ads in there.
I never got up to watch those.
Coyote and the Roadrunner, man. Had to watch that.
He would wake up at 5 a.m. just to watch that, and I'd sleep in. I can't sleep in anymore. But
Coyote, he never won, did he, Chuck?
No, never did.
Got blown up with the TNT. All right, that is, again, your Morning Rush daily question presented by the Red River Dodge in Heber Springs.
National Cereal Day?
Yeah, it's National Cereal Day between oatmeal and then cereal as well.
All right, Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by V's Barbershop with 2 locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Visit V's Barbershop online at vbarbershop.com or in person and see why V's is a cut above the rest.
Chuck, you were mentioning about letting your cereal soak for a sec. Tyler said he likes to eat his cereal dry. I guess that's a hot take on it.
There are some cereals you can do that with. This cinnamon toast, cinnamon crunch thing.
Yeah. Yep.
You can eat that right out of the box.
Yeah, you go get you a handful of Frosted Flakes. That's the problem with the cereal toast crunch is it will leave. I mean, it leaves some of that residue on your hand. But you get a big handful of those Frosted Flakes and just pop.
Do you ever eat that? I mean, you have some at your house. Do you ever eat that as a snack?
We don't keep a lot of cereal. Since COVID and all this stuff, breakfast at school's become the thing. So the kids eat breakfast at school.
Do you have to pay for that?
No, this year I think you started to, but until like this year it's been free.
So is that tax dollar? I'm assuming that's just tax dollar money.
I get. Okay. I mean, yeah. Where do you think the school gets their money?
Gosh.
Listen, I'm just
asking. Hey, what'd y'all think of the game last night? What'd you think?
Thought it was a good win.
All right, let's talk to Tom Murphy here.
I wonder what kind of cereal Eric Musselman eats.
Tom, what is your favorite cereal on National Cereal Day?
Oh goodness, the things I walk into. I am a big cereal lover. I like the ones like Raisin Bran Crunch, the ones that have big oat clusters and stuff in them, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, healthy stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Kind of.
Good man. Hey, man, Khalif Battle, 29 last night. His offensive run continues. Got to the free throw line 14, made 13. Pretty impressive the last 4 or 5 games the run Battle has had.
It really is, and they've been playing better as a team during this run, and ESPN kept flashing up the graphic of the highest scoring 4-game periods. Jody Meeks from Kentucky was in there, Connect from this year, but Battle has outdone them all, and it's just his ability to get to the free throw line over and over and over has been a big part of them playing better these last 4. And man, you wonder about the calculus of next year's roster, and I guess that's for another week or so down the line. But anyway, man, it takes you to a different level when he's scoring that way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, good win. Team gets back to 500 for the year. It's obviously been a disappointing year. That goes without saying. But is Battle the kind of guy that you can build around for next year? I mean, I don't get the impression, or I don't leave even with the production he's put up lately. I don't say, well, there's your centerpiece for next year.
You know, they have to make these estimations, and when you think about what he's done lately, Tremont Mark hasn't been doing as much, individual, and he's a guy who, in certain games, they've just isolated him and let him create, and he can get off his own shot. And you've seen with Battle's driving lately that he can do that and create fouls on the other team and such. So, I mean, there's two guys right there with eligibility left that are big-time scorers, and I don't know. They've got to get more physical. They've got to get bigger interior guys to rebound better. The rim protection has been good, but they have to have more depth in the front court, too, because they've got lots of guards. So there's a lot of evaluations and projections that Eric Musselman and the staff have to do, and I would want Khalif Battle back as a guy who's a great scorer. I mean, obviously there was a period of time, and Eric Musselman referenced it, that Khalif wasn't signed on fully to, the defensive game plan and on the things you have to do on that side. So it looks like that's resolved, and I would think I would want him on my roster next year.
Last night, Tennessee locked up the SEC regular season title. Tom, Arkansas will play next Wednesday. Tennessee, again, won't play till Friday. You mentioned kind of the setup at this point. You think Tennessee has earned the right to be a 1 seed based on what they've done in the conference this year?
Well, it's really looking like that. And for them, when you think about their program, the lack of a Final Four appearance ever has got to be bothering them. And you look at this roster and think this could be the year, but it's all about what you do to peak at the right spot and not running into a hot team. But I do like the composition of their roster. Their ability to draw fouls, get to the free throw line, 3-point shooting, creativity, and with guys like Ziegler, and then you've got just some do-it-all types like Vescovy, who just make your team better. And there's a lot of components. I mean, I like some of the things IDU does. He came here, and I remember Rick Barnes saying that he'd been holding the ball too long when he gets it in the post, and it's a lot better for him. His percentage goes up when he grabs and shoots, and I saw him doing a little bit of that last night during the South Carolina game. So I like the composition of what they're doing, and I think they've earned the number 1 seed.
And on that subject of hot team, we heard Eric Musselman after the game saying that he feels like coaches and the other SEC teams respect them more. Would you consider Arkansas a hot team, not just in terms of wins and losses, but how they played lately heading into Nashville next week?
Well, yeah, I mean, in relative terms. I mean, you could say in relative terms they're hotter than Bama, but are you going to favor them in Tuscaloosa on Saturday? I mean, you could tell Alabama frustrated that they lost at home. Oh, and I meant to say this about Tennessee. This run they're on, their last 4 games are against top 25 teams, and they went and took it to Bama, came back from a 7-point deficit in the second half and just took over that game with their defense. And then I guess they've got Kentucky coming up on Saturday, which is going to be another tough one. But, I mean, Arkansas is playing well, and did some good things at Kentucky last Saturday as well. So, but they're going to get a mad Bama team that lost that game to Tennessee, and then they just did not look like themselves at Florida. And the Gators, they almost stole one in Tuscaloosa. They're playing really well too, and took it to Bama. So I expect Nate Oates to get his team's attention and hey, it is time for us to look like what we want to be in the postseason. And I think the Razorbacks are going to see a pretty good effort Saturday.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, let's shift to football. Spring practice gets underway next couple of days. What are some of the early things you're looking for in camp? Obviously, a lot of the focus will be on what's presumed to be a quarterback battle going into spring with a new offensive coordinator and Bobby Petrino.
Exactly right, and I'm about to head that way. And, we're all going to be casting an eye toward who takes the first snap under center and what this what their mesh with the receivers looks like and all that. I had a flashback this morning. I was thinking about springs under Bobby Petrino, and how he would, if a defensive guy kind of freelanced or went off script and did something to mess up an offensive play, how mad Petrino used to get. And maybe he's mellowed out a little bit since then, but it was all about the intricacies of what you do and how you run what they do. And so we're going to see Jacoby Criswell, Taylor Green, Singleton, and Jackson, and how they handle Bobby Petrino coaching, and how his offense has evolved since he left Arkansas after the 2011 season. It's been a long time. Really interested to see what the schemes look like now, and there's position battles all over. I mean, what's the O-line going to look like now? They've moved Kudus inside. You got some transfer guys at tackle they're going to look at. He's high on Marion Harris and his potential to get playing time this year. And, boy, on defense, the linebacking core, what new signees in the defensive backfield are going to look like. Can they get more depth on the D-line? There's a myriad of questions that, we're going to be looking at during this spring.
And without Rocket Sanders, who's your premier back? Who's your 1, 2, 3 at running back? I think that's an interesting battle to watch beyond quarterback. Is how does the running backs look coming out of spring?
It truly is. And, we've just grown accustomed to Jimmy Smith being able to keep that group together. And then after a down year, a couple of them peeled off, Rocket and A.J. Green, who I was particularly fond of as well. But, Dubinion has shown the capability of being a lead back. But the way Isaiah Augustov ran at the end of last year, when there weren't a whole lot of holes, he almost created a 100-yard game against Missouri just on his own. And I think he ran for 100 on Florida International, if I'm correct. But I love his north-south ability, and so he's going to be a good one too. And then the younger backs, Braylon Russell, Jaquindon Jackson, they're bigger kids. So, and of course you can never leave out Dominic Johnson, who had such an unbelievable 21 a few years ago. So they're going to be deep at tailback once again.
Yeah, and Luke Haas will be back on the field after being sidelined with injury last year. I'll be interested to see, how they involve him in the offense and how much of an integral piece he will be, because he may be your best football player on the roster.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love football so much. Is you can have some superstars, but you have to mesh together, and there's so many different levels to the talent you have to have. Big guys, little guys, fast guys, and it all has to fit together. And last year they were just a little bit discombobulated. I don't project them to, improve so much that they're knocking on the door to the top of the conference, but they can improve to the point where there's a lot more 50-50 swing type games, and you find a way to win those, and you can have a good record. And I just love football because of that. And you got to incorporate the Luke Hazes and everybody else in, and try to make a happy roster and be productive.
So, Tom, on that note, before we let you go, what would you consider a bounce-back year in terms of record for Sam Pittman and this football team?
Well, in the simplest terms available, a winning record. And that means at least 6-6 and win a bowl game. So they're going to have to improve a lot to get to that point, because the SEC is just brutal. It's going to get worse. But if they can do that, they're going to load up and try to win in week 2 against Oklahoma State, and they got the Texas game at home. I just say win half your games and try to get to a bowl game and see what that product looks like on the field, because last year's product didn't look too good.
Tom, we'll leave it there. Appreciate the time. We'll do it on Tuesday.
You bet. See ya.
Hey, Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Chuck, I don't know how much spring football you'll get to watch with basketball going on, but you could hear the excitement in Tom's voice for the first practice today.
One thing that I do think's got to be brought up, and I've listened to all the conversations people have had about spring ball, and I've been involved in some of them. We've talked about quarterbacks and all kinds of positions. The spot that plagued Arkansas a year ago was the offensive line. Yeah. That's why they weren't any good. And that's the spot that's got to be shored up. I think they're going to be fine at quarterback. They got good candidates there. I know if their offensive line's good, whoever they pick will have a decent year. I'm certain of that. I know if the offensive line's good, whoever wins the running back job is going to have a good season. I am certain of that. So, to me, when I look at spring, and I know we're going to focus on the guys that touch the ball. I get that. But if you really look back at last year's season, everything started with problems up front. That's where all the difficulties started, were the inability to block the other team. And that's what's got to be shored up during spring, in my mind, more than anything else.
Yeah, and he was positive about Amarian Harris earlier this week. Fernando Carmona, Keyshawn Blackstock, and Nichols are the three guys they brought in. Sam Pittman's been on Nichols since he was at Georgia, and there's some other guys that they'll probably look to in the transfer portal as well. But I would guess that those guys are, again, brought in, and based on who you lost at that position, based on things not going, that probably going to have 3 instant transfer starters on the offensive line.
Well, it could be. I mean, it might be. I don't know if it's instant, but I'm sure they're, when you bring a portal guy in, you bring him into play. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start, but that would be ideal, certainly. And I think that everybody understood at the end of last season that that's where the revamp was going to really have to happen. And if you look at some of the personnel there now as opposed to where it was at the end of the season, that's kind of what's going on. I think we all understood at the end of last year that, hey, this offensive line can't play like this next year. And if these guys can't do it, they got to go get other guys who can, or at least who you think might be able to. And that's what they've done. And so that process begins today in less than an hour. And so and that's an interesting part of all this too. Everything's going to happen in the morning this spring, and it may be this way in the fall too. That's a different subject, but I just think that offensive line is going to be critical. Hey, let's talk about V's Barbershop for just a second. If you want to look good, if you want to feel good, if you want to walk out the door ready to take on the world, V's Barbershop is the place where you need to go. Now, when you walk in, you're going to know that you're in a barbershop. And by that I mean it's going to have that nostalgic feel. It's going to have that smell. Yeah, you're going to know that you're in a barbershop when you walk in. But it's also got the modern amenities that we all like, the creature comforts we demand. There's a television there. You can watch the news. You got your own little station right there. And the services now go way beyond the normal haircut. And you can find out all about it at V's Barbershop. They've got 2 locations in Northwest Arkansas. They're in the Pleasant Crossing Shopping Center in Rogers. They're on Southwest 14th Street in Bentonville, right off 71B. 2 locations in West Little Rock. And the web address is vbarbershop.com.
Mentioned Tennessee's victory over South Carolina with Tom, so they get a 7-point win in Columbia last night. Vanderbilt loses by 16 in Rupp, and then also A&M defeats Mississippi State, eliminating you from any chance of playing next Thursday. So Arkansas is either locked in as the 11th or 12th seed in Nashville next week, so you will be playing on Wednesday night, regardless of the outcome in Coleman Coliseum this weekend. 5 games in 5 days, never been done before, and Arkansas will try and embark on that journey next week.
And it's either Missouri or Vanderbilt, game 1.
Correct.
Yeah, it's going to be Vanderbilt, I guess.
Yeah.
Mathematically, I'm not even. Has Vanderbilt won 3 games?
I think they've got
Vanderbilt's
3
won
conference.
3 games.
A&M.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's going to be the 13 seed.
Yeah, and Arkansas's tied with Georgia.
Missouri will be the 14 seed.
Yeah.
Georgia owns the tiebreak right now based on their win over South Carolina.
And they go to Auburn this weekend, too.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Gaston's White River Resort getting ready for another big weekend coming up. We're going to have some beautiful weather after we get through the next 24 hours or so. So if you want to head over to the White River, you can ask about winter rates that are winding down next few weeks, and you can check out one of their cabins or lodges. If you're just going to be in the area, give them a call and set up a dinner reservation. Love eating at Gaston's because you always have a great view of the White River. If you're there for lunch, you can see the boats coming and going from the dock area. It's always a great time and a great view. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
That had to be one of the funnest statements I've ever heard in my life. Spit my coffee out. It was a great bit. It was comedy gold.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the Morning Rush.
Diamond Center is proud to present our inaugural Whiskey and Watches event. Now is your chance to get your hands on that timeless timepiece you've been dreaming of. Between now and Thursday, April 25th, in our Fort Smith store, call or stop by to pre-order your watch. Then join us on Thursday, April 25th for a night of celebration featuring rare whiskeys, cigars, and luxury watches. This is your opportunity to add that watch that you've always had an eye on to your collection. For more information or to pre-order your watch today, give us a call. The Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the Bases Loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section. We have the Bases Loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know.
Yeah, well, not really.
So when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb Facegram. You get it, Matt.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we have the biggest and best selection of premium pre-owned vehicles we've had in years. Many with low miles and those special features you're looking for, and each one road ready certified with warranty. Be sure to ask about the weekly specials that can save you up to $4,000. Road ready certified used cars and savings up to $4,000. Two more reasons all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Spring is just around the corner, and Jelco Outdoors is ready with all of your spring fishing gear. Crappie, bass, catfish, Jelco has a great selection of rods, reels, and baits to help you fill that stringer. Spring turkey supplies are rolling in daily, and the firearms department is stocked up with ammo for outdoor shooting. Spring is almost here, so get outdoors and enjoy the spring season. Stop by Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, for all your outdoor gear. Think spring, think Jelco Outdoors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So Caleb Battle was on fire last night, as he's been the last few games.
Hogs are running. Tremont to Battle on the left wing. Caleb for three, and it's good. Mike McMahon wants a timeout on the other end. The Razorbacks on a 7-0 run.
Eric Musselman got asked after the game, hey, what about next year? What's Caleb's decision going to be playing for Arkansas or maybe elsewhere? Here's what he said in regards to that speculation.
With all players, I mean, you play the season out and you see how it unwinds, so it would be unfair for me to speculate either way. I do think he's really happy playing at Arkansas. We're happy with the way that he's progressed, the way that he's evolved as the season's gone on. He's done a great job of buying in, and I think that's why you see the productivity continue to improve. And I know that he enjoys playing here and playing in that system, but it's whenever he makes a decision or whatever's on him.
And his teammates his teammates seem to be really enjoying playing with him. Jeremiah Davenport, Caleb once enemies at Cincinnati and Temple, but now it's just fun to be around each other.
Just being with him, actually on the team with him and seeing him grow from the beginning till now is just amazing. That's all I can say. It's amazing. 4 30-point games? It's crazy. I never seen it. I've never been a part of it as a 29. You can give him 30.
No,
that's basically 30. But yeah, I never been a part of that personally. With another teammate that scores 30 back to back to back to back. So it's so amazing to see.
Chuck, I think Hogstats had it that he scored the most points over a 4-game span among all SEC players last 20 years at 137 these last 4 games.
Yeah, it's been incredible to watch, and it's he's done a lot of it at the foul line. I mean, look at the free throw totals in these games. That's where the points have piled up. And I'll liken it to Mason Jones when he was here, and I think Muss's first season, when a lot of his points came at the free throw line. And, Battle's good at that. He's good at getting to the free throw line, and he's just about automatic when he gets there. So that's a big part of it right now with him.
He continues to find success. And I like what he said after the game about just being a Hog right now.
We didn't know what being a Razorback was until, you get here. It's a different level of competing. It's a different level of how you handle yourself outside of basketball, inside of basketball. So, I think right now, we're showing that more. Maybe it doesn't show up as much in the wins and losses, but, it means something to us. So at the end of the day, whether we win or lose, we're still happy to be, in this position that we're in.
You think about somebody who's been somewhere 4 years, and you've done something. You've been programmed to do things a certain way every day. And believe me, these kids are programmed when they join a basketball team at this level. I mean, your day's planned out for you. And you've done it the same way for 4 years. And then you go somewhere completely different. A kid from Hillside, New Jersey, coming to Fayetteville, Arkansas, after 4 years of doing things a certain way every day. And it does take a while to adjust. And it's unfair sometimes to expect a kid to immediately adhere to all your principles and do everything exactly the way you want it done. That's really not realistic if you stop and think about it. How many times do you see a first-year player? Now, in most of our days, that meant a freshman. But how many times have you seen a first-year player stumble, struggle, get lost in the shuffle? Good player. And at the end of the season, all of a sudden the light comes on. And you say to yourself, man, I can't wait to watch that guy next year. I think that's kind of where we are with some of these transfer guys. They're well along in their careers. And a guy like Battle and some of them still have that COVID year to work with. And that's kind of what throws the wild card into all this. But to make a long story short, I think he's adjusted now. I think he's comfortable now. Now, it may be too late in the game to save this season, but it's sure not too late in the game to make next year real promising. And I think his best bet's here, and I think he knows that.
Yeah, Battle said last week on the Ride Along show that he thinks he's coming back here next year. He kind of addressed that last night. It sounded like he will be back as an Arkansas Razorback in 2025. All right, one more thing here in your Hog Update. Sam Pittman talking about Saturday open practices and the spring game. Here's why he wants to do that for the fans and for the media and just for his football program.
That will be open to you guys and to the public, including the scrimmage and all scrimmages. And our practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays will start around 8 o'clock, 8:10. And then I think the first scrimmage will be at 9, the second one at 10, and then the spring game will be at noon. Part of the thinking with opening up the practices is because we are going to have some young kids and the quarterbacks, especially besides Taylor, that haven't played in front of people. And hopefully it'll kill two birds with one stone. We invite the state in to watch the kids play, and then they'll play it in front of people, and it might help them, and we'll be able to find out a little bit more about them. That part of that went with the linebacker group as well.
Yeah, it's not just about quarterbacks. Some of these other guys, they're not going to have 70,000 fans there, but it's better than just being no one at all.
It'd be a few thousand.
Yeah,
if that. And, but I just hope the social media reaction, what gets posted, on message boards and other places, people generally go to extremes when they're watching stuff they don't really understand the real nuts and bolts of. And I'm not saying I would be able to sit down and break it down, but Chuck, I think one of the reasons coaches keep people out of practices these days is because the reaction to what they see when there's one drop pass or one missed tackle has generally become over the top, to say the least.
Well, it has, but it sure is that way in the season too.
Yeah.
And, to think that that's going away or won't be part of the landscape, I mean, it's going to be there. I think when you're 4-8, just to be very frank about it, you ought to be happy with whatever attention you're getting. And I think the idea that they're doing this is, I think this is part of making Razorback football part of the everyday conversation. And let's face it, the hiring of Petrino in the offseason is what spurred a lot of the conversation. It's what's given people hope because they remember how it was when he was here before. And they think it might be that way again. So people are excited about that possibility. But I think it's a good move. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. And I don't know that it's going to, make them seasoned, by the time they get to the first game. I'm not going to say that, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for your Hog Update this morning, and it is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I did get a text from our Phil Elson on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Chuck, I know you got to go to a lot of hotels like he does. He's got a treasure trove of these different mini cereals that I guess he's hoarded over the last couple of years. There's about 20 of them here. So he
steals from the free breakfast bar downstairs is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, so he is partaking in National Cereal Day on this great day with about 5 different options.
On this great day.
On this great
I'm
day.
glad we didn't overstate it at all.
Yeah, really. Apple Jacks.
Yeah.
You guys remember Apple Jacks?
Yeah. He's got Apple Jacks in there.
They're a staple of the free breakfast bar.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, and National Cereal Day. Absolutely. Can't believe we're having to work today,
That's your fault. You scheduled us today. All right, hour 3 coming up. I do want to talk about NCAA tournament since expansion and these money-grubbing you-know-whats trying to take away and trying to distort some of the best sports in college. That is coming up.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Get 0% financing for 60 months or a free loader on compacts. Choose 0% financing or cash back on mid-range tractors and on select hay tools. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7. No matter the job, hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Now is the best time to get a truckload of savings on the trusted quality and efficient power of New Holland Equipment. Offer ends March 31st. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification at CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number one volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
This is the Morning Rush.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms are high temperatures this afternoon in the low to mid 60s. We're looking at wet, some stormy weather tonight, mid 50s. Occasional showers and thunderstorms as we head through Friday. Our high on Friday in the low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Mackay's 8th rebound, and the Hogs are going to run it out. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Arkansas is going to win the ball game. The Razorbacks get even with LSU. They even the season series, and they beat the Tigers 94-83 on senior night.
You know, I like our rotation, what we have going on right now. Sometimes during the course of the season, you're constantly tinkering, and if you pick up the box score from the last time we played LSU, it's a much different look than we were then.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And welcome into hour number 3 of a Too Stupid Thursday. We've told you about a couple stupid stories this morning. Apparently, a woman's life was saved by her Stanley Cup. Naked bowling going on in Pittsburgh later in April. Also got another story to tell you about this pickle diver that's going into different delicacies in New Jersey and the Northeast, dipping his head across like pickle jars, which is about as odd as it gets. So we'll tell you about that coming up. Got some more basketball and football news. And I want to discuss the possibility and potential of expanding the NCAA tournament, which would be a mistake for the NCAA to do.
A lot of weird, crazy people out there.
Pickle monster.
Oh, anyway. Hey, I want to tell you about Uncorked. It is patio season. The weather in the afternoons the last few days have been great. We may have a little dip here with some rain, and temperature's a little cooler today, but I'm telling you, now is the time to get to Uncorked. Ask them for a seat out on the patio, comfortable patio furniture that you and your friends can gather, have a unique cocktail that maybe you won't find elsewhere, one of their great selections of beers that are on tap. They also have now a great selection, and this is growing in popularity, of non-alcoholic beers that are available as well. And big sellers, they got a big selection of those now available as well. So if that's something you're looking for, they have those at Uncorked. Small plate appetizers that they have. So join them for happy hour or any hour at Uncorked. They're on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Go to uncorkthefort.com. And you can make dinner reservations for this weekend, maybe Saturday brunch reservations as well, and check out the unique menu that Chef Jazz has worked out that you're really going to like that's available as well. Find them on Facebook or, again, uncorkthefort.com for reservations and more. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
All right, so before we get to the pickle monster, how bigwigs are destroying college sports, the game last night, and some other football tidbits from Sam Pittman, you guys got some unfortunate news in the radio side of things this week.
Yeah, I mean, for those that have worked in the radio business, you'll know the name Tom Chamberlain. And if you lived anywhere in or around the Russellville area, Chuck, the name Tom Chamberlain was synonymous with radio. I worked in that market back in the late 90s and around 2000, and had seen Tom for a number of years as the PA announcer at Arkansas Tech and Russellville High School games. Just one of the great guys that was unfortunately in an automobile accident a few days ago and passed away. But Tom retired from PA announcing duties at Tech a couple of years ago, and just one of the really good guys. I know you were around him in your day in Russellville. I was as well, and just one of the really nice guys.
You know, Tom was one of the voices of my youth. I did not know him well, was not around him a lot, just to be very frank. But growing up, as we've talked, I grew up in Clarksville, and you know, if you played a game and Tom Chamberlain was there, it was a big game. If you played a game and Tom Chamberlain wasn't there, it probably wasn't that big a game. And I know for the people involved in Arkansas Tech, the fans of the Wonder Boys, you know, he was synonymous with that and a great supporter of high school sports in our part of the state. And his grandson, Patrick, works for the Razorback Foundation. And just a really good guy. And for those of us from that part of the world who are old enough to remember, yeah, it's kind of sad that he's gone. Well, it is not kind of sad. It's very sad that he's gone.
Yeah, and so thoughts and prayers, as we say, are with his family. But you know, he's a voice that you heard it, you knew who it was, and like you said, did lots of games and lots of dial-a trades and lots of news reports and. Tom will certainly be missed and had a great career.
We haven't, and on that note, we haven't really talked about a lot of high school state championships at all this week, but I know it's a big week for.
They get underway tonight.
Yeah,
this afternoon.
Huge week for a lot of our.
Hot Springs is hopping. They still do that in Hot Springs, don't they?
Yep. Starts today and today, tomorrow, and Saturday. State championship games at Bank OZK Arena.
We Little Rock Christian, the connection that a lot of Arkansas fans would know is Sean Andrews' son, JJ, dog, stud, lefty, 2026, I think. They're back for another state championship appearance. Hopefully they pull it out. But there's plenty of good high school basketball. We know Arkansas a little behind on the high school football side of things, but basketball not necessarily when you compare it to other SEC states. So you'll see a lot of talent in Hot Springs this weekend.
Yeah, and you can watch those games. If you can't make it, those games are being broadcast on AETN on your PBS channel. So across the state, so wherever you're at, you can watch those games. They're beginning this afternoon. So I know a lot of people watch those. I saw one number where they streamed just the games leading up to the championship games and had like nearly 500,000 views of the games across the state.
Well, you guys keep up with it more than I do, but we've got Northwest Arkansas teams in that, if I'm not mistaken. I think both Farmington teams are there, and there may be others too. I don't keep up with it as much as probably some others, but I do know there are teams from our area that are there.
You know, that's exactly right. And the Farmington teams play tonight, and there are others. But, yeah, I mean, you know, there was a state tournament at Farmington, also one at Elkins this past week. So Northwest Arkansas well represented.
The DQ hometown. I guess Elkins got a nice gym, don't they?
They built a new arena 2 years ago, something like that.
Okay. I remember DQ was talking about that on the afternoon show. Well, the cool thing about high school basketball is it's pure. Like, you have this pure sense about it. Other high school sports, I know we're probably turning in the wrong direction with transfers and some potential NLL stuff that's coming down the pipe, but that's also what I like about the NCAA tournament. And according to a report from the Athletics' Dana O'Neill, they're thinking about expanding the NCAA tournament again. And it's not going to go to 96, but it's probably going to go to like 72, 76 teams. And one of the reasons that they're doing this is because college administrators feel like that if they don't do something about adding teams, some conference schools might create their own postseason. This addition would possibly eliminate that. There's always this idea that the NCAA's biggest cash cow could be eliminated if certain teams pull out of it at some point. We've got the 12-team playoff that'll start this year. This is expanding. I hate this. One of the best parts about college sports is, again, the idea that you don't keep expanding things. You're expanding the college football playoff. You might expand the NCAA tournament. The regular seasons of college sports are so much better than the National Football League, the Major League, and then also the NBA because there's not an excess number of games. So when you saturate it, like they're potentially going to do, like they're doing it with college football, which is not going to be it's not going to be better. We've seen blowouts in semifinals and playoff games and championship games with 4 teams. You think 12 is going to make it better? No, it's going to make it worse. There's going to be more lopsided affairs, more lopsided games. I hate this idea that they're going to expand, but it sure seems like they're trending in that direction.
Well, because expansion means what, guys?
Money.
More money. And, the temptation in football for what we call the Power 4 or whatever we're going to call them now, basically the SEC and the Big Ten to do their own thing means they have to share the money with less people. And I think that temptation is going to be overriding at some point that they can make their own deal with ESPN and Fox and whoever else. And the ticket sales become theirs. And, some of this division of the money with others that aren't participating in the playoff will cease.
I don't think football and basketball are comparable in this instance. I think this expansion of the NCAA basketball tournament is about the fact that nationally nobody pays attention to college basketball except in March. They're trying to make March last. March and April last longer. That's when America, generally speaking, pays attention to college basketball. Now you pay attention to your team during the course of the season, and if you're really into it, you pay attention to it nationally, but the viewership will tell you that America pays attention to college basketball for about a 4 or 5 week period.
Yep.
They pay attention to college football all year long. That's just the reality of the world we live in now. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but to me, when I hear them talking about expanding the NCAA basketball tournament, it's just to try to extend the 4 or 5 week high interest period to maybe 6 or 7. To me, that's what it means.
Well, in this same article, the reason they're not expanding to 96 is they don't want to add another weekend. It will still be in the confines of its current setup. There'll just be more teams, more playing games and stuff.
Remember, these are proposals.
Yes. And
it's an article, Dane O'Neill, and I have no disrespect for Dane O'Neill, but Dane O'Neill had an assignment and a deadline. He or she needed to write an article, and this is what was produced.
Yeah.
It's speculation and nothing more.
Yeah, and again, it hasn't happened just yet. You always talk about the Masters timeline, how you got the Final Four, and then you got the Masters the following weekend. That setup looks like, and again, everything's subject to change in college sports, but that setup is subject to change. I just don't think...
I'll tell you what's not subject to change when they have the Masters.
Yeah.
That's not moving.
I just don't think that even with the maybe adding some teams in college football, you're just never going to gain anything on college football. It's not just a Southern thing. It's a nationwide thing, and there are people that just pay attention to collegiate sports during college football season, and their eyeballs go off the TV when it's basketball and when it's baseball.
They come back around in March.
They do.
Come back around in March. America watches the NCAA basketball tournament.
Yeah, there's a good chunk of them, but still the numbers are comparatively to college football big time games are nowhere close at this point. I just hate that, again, the regular season was what makes college sports great. And I feel like that by doing this, by continuously expanding, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something in baseball coming down the pipe at some point based on where basketball and football are headed. I'm just irritated by it. And I get the money aspect. You're trying to get ready for revenue sharing, and college administrators know at some point that employees, I know the Dartmouth ruling came down this week. By the way, those Dartmouth guys, they suck. They're like 5-18. And they should focus on being a good basketball team and not forming a union. That's a story for another day. But that's all coming at this point. So they're just preparing for that. Whether they say
we don't know what's
coming.
We don't know what's coming. I mean, all these things. We talk a lot, and we should. I mean, that's what drives discussion about sports. But most of the things we talk about right now are things that might happen, things we fear would happen. We worry it's going to get screwed up, and there's a certain amount of good reason for that. But, again, what we're talking about here is merely speculation, and we're a long way from having the NCAA basketball tournament expand. But now, look, people stopped paying attention to a lot of the regular season in college basketball a long time ago. Yeah. Let's not act like that would be something new. No. College football fans have paid attention to virtually every game from September to Thanksgiving weekend, and I think they would lose a lot if that was diluted.
Yeah,
so, at least beyond where they're going right now.
You think about December, and if you expand college football's playoff to include some of the Saturdays and the weekends in December, which really we start thinking about and watching a little more college basketball, you're going to watch virtually no college basketball at all, even your own team perhaps, until January. So, I mean, there's a battle going on for your eyeballs. The NFL's not happy about this talk about expansion of football because they like those Saturdays in December, guys. And so, I mean, December's going to be a battleground if they did this for what you're going to watch. But I'm not for any expansion of the NCAA tournament in general. But if you do it, it can't be a deal where the best teams are getting some kind of bye through that first weekend or some kind of funky setup like that, because I think that's too big of a disadvantage, telling a team from, you're going to be off a whole week before you play in the NCAA tournament. I don't think that's good either.
You can't take David and Goliath. You can't take that battle out of the NCAA tournament. If you do, it'll die. I mean, that's the essence of the NCAA basketball tournament. When you get your bracket, what's the first thing you do? You're looking for
upsets, baby.
You're looking at that 12-5. Which 13 seed's going to beat a 4? Those are the things that you look for. If you take that element out of it, it's no fun anymore. And let me pause just for a second, talk about the Market Moment podcast. If you've not listened, they talk about money. And if you're into money, this is probably what you ought to listen to. Matt, Lee, and Eli this week, they're tackling the latest trends in the stock market. Like what it means that Apple stock is dropped after getting a $2 billion fine by the European Commission. The tech sector's booming. And a company, guys, has actually started pre-orders for flying cars. So what's next? Is this going to burn up like another fad, or is this something to seriously consider? Well, you can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com. That's market-moment.com. Mach 1 Financial Group LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
I don't know if you guys read Chris Lowe's latest story on Nick Saban. Saban was talking with him after the season, and he said in regards to his football team that just lost in the college football playoff, basically on a goal line stand, I thought we could have a hell of a team next year. And then maybe 70 or 80% of the players you talk to, they want to know two things. What assurances am I going to have that I'm going to play because they're thinking about transferring, or how much do you think they're going to pay me? And again, it was cited that was one of the reasons that Nick Saban left college football is because of that. And I found that curious listening to Sam Pittman earlier this week, and also discussing the idea of another recruiting cycle, just how that plays into NIL and the transfer portal.
I don't think it's going to hit everybody. It's going to like everything about, if you're in the playoffs, you may like this, you may not like that. But I will say this, I've always thought if a young man, and I think it'll help the portal and the NIL, to be perfectly honest with you. I think if a young man comes in June and he wants to go to University of Arkansas, and he has an opportunity in June to do that, guys are being recruited when they're in 9th and 8th and grade, and so it's not like it's going to be their first time on a campus. And so the problem is, we moved it used to be February. And we moved it to December. Now we're moving it to June, potentially. The biggest question for me is how is it going to affect the high school? Are they going to sign and then go, well, I've reached my goal, and I'm not going to play my senior year for the high school? That was the biggest question for me, because it's happened in the past. And as you well know, if it happens once and it can go again, it's just like bowl opt-outs now. It happened one time, and then now half your team's not playing anymore.
Now this proposal has been pushed back towards June. I think Pete Thamel reported that. But we've seen coaches in college basketball, and Nick Saban for college football, one of the reasons they've exited sport because of that. If this goes through, I think there's benefits for the student athlete and the high school kid, but I think you're going to see more coaches if they end up having 3 signing periods that elect to just go to the NFL, because that's just one more thing they have to worry about in what's supposed to be a lighter portion of their calendar year if this thing goes through in June.
Would the coaches trade a little more to do in June to take some of this off their plate in December? I think that's the only way you could really entertain it, because their December plate is so full. What would Sam Pittman prefer? What would, choose any other coach you want to, you'd say, what would Nick Saban prefer? But he doesn't have a dog in the hunt anymore. What would Caleb DeBoer think? Go around the list of your SEC coaches, your Power 4 coaches. Would they rather have a little less on their plate in December and more in June, or do they like it the way it is? I can't imagine they like December the way it is, Chuck.
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what they're thinking.
I think that in that question, I think they would try, because the gauntlet's your season, right? It's basically it's in August, fall camp, and then your season till the end of November, December if you make a bowl game. And then you're all of a sudden tasked to just go right in and really in the midst of that entire season be recruiting. I would think, again, this is just my opinion, I would think that they would rather have it in June than they would December, because, again, busiest part of the year, and then you get slammed. That's like having tax season, and then there's an additional tax season for accountants on top of that. You don't want that. Once April, was it 15th? Once that's done, it subsides a little bit. It doesn't really subside for college football coaches. This possibility gives them a chance to rest easy a little bit, a month or so, until that February. Where it
Did anyone ask yesterday, hey, which do you prefer? Did anyone ask that?
I don't know if he expanded on that, to be honest, Chuck.
No, I'm just asking if anyone asked the question, which do you prefer?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I just wonder. That would seem like, that would seem like the question.
Yeah,
like logical.
Yeah, I didn't.
I wasn't there. That's the reason I asked.
I didn't hear Feinbaum ask that yesterday either, because Sam Pittman's kind of had 2 media things, one with the local and then one with that. But no, I don't know if he ever. He sounded like a little like there's positives and negatives to his answer on both. So I don't know what he truly feels and if he really expanded on that, to be honest. But I'd be curious, not just for Pittman like you're saying, but other SEC coaches, what they think.
Hey, if you're looking for a new place to call home in Northwest Arkansas, let me spend a moment telling you about the Cottages at the Creek by Buffington Homes. It's the newest community from Buffington Homes, and it's in one of the most convenient places to live in Northwest Arkansas on the north side of Springdale. It's near the Shaw Family Park, a newly constructed 120-acre family park. The Cottages at the Park defines relaxed living with welcoming front porches, shady sidewalks, lush green spaces, and they just make it easy to enjoy the outdoors and meet new neighbors. They got a variety of floor plans. Home prices start in the 400s, and you'll find a selection of single-story and two-story homes that are perfect for all stages of life. Hey, to learn more, go to BuffingtonHomesAR.com/Hog Radio. That's BuffingtonHomesAR.com/Hog Radio. At Buffington Homes, they're helping you build a life you'll love.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hear more from Eric Musselman, the win last night.
Even though you try to be tight.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to BetOnline today to become...
But you did have a Wednesday game when Alabama has a Tuesday game, and they're back at home in Coleman Coliseum. Eric Musselman, pleased with a bunch of things last night, including how they defended Will Baker, who ripped you up in that first game in Baton Rouge. We'll talk about that, and also Caleb and Jeremiah Davenport used to hate each other. Now they're teammates. We'll share that story as well.
Hey, I want to tell you about the Inn at the Mill. We were talking about baseball for the coming weekend, and maybe you're making plans. We were talking about earlier about the football schedule. Now it's never too early to start making plans for even fall football trips, but get that baseball schedule out, figure out the weekends you want to come to Fayetteville, and call the Inn at the Mill, conveniently located off the Johnson exit. That's exit 69, right in the heart of Northwest Arkansas. It's close to the Amp, Crystal Bridges, close to shopping and eating, and, of course, close to campus as well. The thing that sets them apart, besides the oversized rooms and the fast internet and the great breakfast, is the staff. Jennifer and that whole team just do a great job of making you feel welcome, making you feel wanted, and making your second, third, fourth, fifth reservation once you're in their system easier than ever when you just call them at 479-443-1800. You can set it up, be on and in and out like 30 seconds getting that done. It is great. 479-443-1800. Or look him up online, inatthemill.com.
So Mekhi Mitchell dominated last night. Well, Will Baker didn't do jack squat. Here was Muss on what really took Baker out of the game.
Mekhi was dominant inside. We had a game plan to try to stop Will Baker. Obviously, he hurt us. We changed up our coverages, and I thought we did a great job taking him out of the game. He only had one field goal, and certainly that was a major issue for us in Baton Rouge.
Chuck, I think he canned 4 threes in that first game, had 20-something points, but again, last night only finishes with 3 points, 1 field goal, just completely taken out of the game plan for Coach McMahon and LSU.
Yeah, they ran those pick and pops a few times last night. A couple of times early, he got shots. I mean, and he didn't make them. And so, I mean, they were open looks. They were the same shots that he made at Baton Rouge. And I think part of it was he just, again, when you get a guy a couple open, 2 or 3 open shots in a row and he doesn't make them, then, maybe that's not your option that night. But, yeah, the Arkansas did a good job on him, and Baker had an off night for sure.
Yeah. Trevin Brazile, 3 of 4 from the floor, gets 6 points in the game. Chuck, what have you seen from Trevin's game since he's kind of returned as a regular in the lineup the last few games?
Well, he's contributed. I won't say he's a difference maker right now, but again, we've discussed this, that the players have really gotten him on the run. It's not Brazile because he wasn't, he wasn't playing that much. As they started sort of getting it together. He's been a good contributor. And, Trevin missed some time, and it's been, I'm sure, a very frustrating year for him. And I hope he has an opportunity next year to, play the entire season. We've not seen Trevin Brazile an entire season yet. So to me, he's playing like a guy who's trying to get back in the groove. And I hope he's able to continue to do that.
Yeah, he's got at least 2 games left. We'll see what shakes out in Coleman Coliseum this Saturday and for Arkansas basketball in Nashville starting next Wednesday. Now, a guy that's really, again, picked it up is Caleb Battle. We've talked numerous times about him. And a little backstory, he was at Temple. Jeremiah Davenport was at Cincinnati, and they didn't like each other back then.
I mean, it's been great. I mean, this is my road dog right here. Like I said, like last year we hated each other. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I play Cincinnati, I want to make sure I was prepared because he used to talk so crazy to us. So I remember he hit a 3 and he was like 2 times, and then it used to
my nickname.
Yeah, that's his nickname. So I used to get mad, and then when he committed here, and I was the first person to text him. Like I was excited to have him here, and we've been brothers since day one. We hung out since day one, and like his energy never changes. I mean, a play won't be as serious to me, but he'll hype it up so much that you can't help but to get hyped up. And man, it's just like we came a long way, and this is my brother for life. So I mean, I love sharing the floor with him, and who knows, maybe we'll share the floor again, after this, out of a Razorback jersey, so you never know.
So the only other Razorback comparison I would make, Patrick Beverly, who's a Milwaukee Buck now, him and Damian Lillard hated each other. They were competitors, multiple fights, different teams, different settings, and now they're teammates, Chuck. And there is a bond now. That just happens sometimes, like you heard Caleb talking about with Jeremiah. It's like your enemies at one point, your teammates the next. It's more prevalent in the NBA because of trades, but more and more this transfer portal is utilized. You'll see it more in college basketball, too.
Well, they don't really know each other when they play for the other team. I mean, they may dislike somebody because they play for the other side, but they don't know them well enough to know if they really like them or dislike them as a person. So, I mean, some of that stuff, just comes from, just playing against the other person. So, but yeah, I mean, the way guys move around, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the guy that is on the other side this year may be your teammate next year.
Yeah, and that's just the way it's going to be. All right, trip to Alabama this week. I don't know, where it ranks as toughest places to play, but we know Alabama has a really good team. I've got to believe, Chuck, if you can go to Kentucky and compete like you did last weekend, I expect Arkansas to play well against Alabama.
Well, every game's different. I mean, every game's different. And, now that they know that, they're locked into Wednesday, does that affect anything? I don't know. Does it affect anything with Alabama now that Tennessee's clinched the championship? I mean,
good point.
My thought on Alabama is kind of like what Tom said a little bit earlier. They've lost 3 of 4 and they're playing at home, and Arkansas is playing better, but they're still 2-2 the last 4 games. They're not exactly sizzling.
Yep, they've got to, again, hopefully get a win on Saturday, and then maybe you can take that momentum into the SEC tournament. All right, SEC basketball scores from last night, including Tennessee clinching. We'll tell you about that and more in your SEC update.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Arkansas Razorback, JJ Meadows, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Do you feel that, Arkansas? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1 million. Why should you care? Because this $1 million+ prize can only be won in Arkansas. There are 2 Lotto drawings every week, and the jackpot keeps growing until there's a winner. Join the fun and play Lotto today. A $2 ticket could change your life. Get yours in stores or on the Jackpocket app. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Tommy Craft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
Free Diamond Madness this March at the Diamond Center. During the month of March, Diamond Center is giving away a free live-grown diamond with the purchase of any natural earth-grown diamond, 1 carat or larger, or with the purchase of any qualifying in-stock setting. All you have to do is pick out the perfect engagement ring and we'll take care of the rest. All backed by our free lifetime warranty. This is a can't-miss opportunity. Don't miss out on free Diamond Madness the entire month of March, only at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we have the biggest and best selection of premium pre-owned vehicles we've had in years. Many with low miles and those special features you're looking for, and each one road ready certified with warranty. Be sure to ask about the weekly specials that can save you up to $4,000. Road ready certified used cars and savings up to $4,000. 2 more reasons all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it's just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Tennessee Volunteers went to Columbia, South Carolina, and got a 7-point win last night, clinching the overall regular season SEC title. Arkansas won 94 over 83 over LSU. Vandy lost by 16 to the Wildcats, and then A&M beat Mississippi State by 6 in College Station last night. Those were the 4 SEC games. Arkansas will play Vanderbilt or Missouri next Wednesday. We'll see about the setup. Georgia and Arkansas currently tied in the standings, so it'll matter. Again, both teams have tough road tests this weekend, the Auburn Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I would expect both teams to honestly lose this weekend, but in terms of the standings, you are currently tied with Georgia. Vanderbilt will be the 13th seed. Missouri is 0-17 and is the 14th seed next Wednesday.
Would be a disaster to lose that first game to either one of those teams. Give Missouri their first win or lose again to Vanderbilt. I know it's their hometown, but it's not their home court. I would prefer to play Vandy over Missouri, honestly, and kind of even that score a little bit.
I'd take it, yeah. Either way.
But I think it's going to be, because the tiebreaker is edge. Isn't it going to be Vandy, though? Don't we kind of know that? Because the tiebreaker edge favors Georgia.
If you win and they lose, then you would have.
Well, but I mean, you got to beat Alabama to do that. So
yeah. tiebreaker, like you said, if both teams lose, you're going to play Vandy. But if you win, Georgia loses, you'll play Missouri. If both teams win, then you'll play.
Odds are you're going to play Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be it's not 100% set in stone.
No, but I'd say it's 75%.
Yeah. Arkansas women play
maybe more.
Play Auburn today at 5:00 on the SEC Network. Phil is in Greenville right now, and then this is a future SEC matchup. It's currently not, but it will be as of this next spring. Oklahoma, the number one gymnastics team in the country, coming in to Bud Walton, not Barnhill. I misspoke earlier this week. Doors open at 2:30. The match is set at 3:45. Again, back-to-back national champion Sooners taking on your Arkansas Razorback gymnastic team.
They move over to Barnhill. From Barnhill to Bud Walton. It's not often, but they set that up, move everything over, and kind of have a big showcase night. Yep. So I hadn't been to one of those, but I've seen the pictures, seen it on TV. It looks neat.
If you're in Northwest Arkansas, there ain't any NFL on, so Sunday might be a good day
they'll draw a crowd.
Watch some Arkansas gymnastics. Also, want to mention Ole Miss has hired former Mississippi State head coach Zach Arnett in an analyst role. So Lane Kiffin hiring Arnett in this role at this point, which I thought was intriguing.
Knows the state, and then but also knows the teams in this conference. So when he's breaking down film, you think they can't pick his brain in staff meetings or whatever about recruits and schools and coaches. There's some knowledge there that he can.
It's good defensive mind. Not necessarily cut out to be a head coach, and yet he still be in Fayetteville. In one of the grossest games I think I've ever watched on a football field.
He was put in a tough spot there that no one expected with the passing of Mike Leach. So. All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. We got, I don't know, it's winter weather. We got a little bit of rainy, nasty weather, and kind of gives you the weather blues. So beat the weather blues with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. They got a hot tub sale going on right now with up to $5,000 in savings on Hot Spring Spas, the world's best-selling brand. Spend time with your family in the new Serenity Series 6-person tub. It's only $75.99. Then you can warm up and say goodbye to the winter blues with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale, they're in Fort Smith, and, of course, they're online at burtonpools.com. At Burton's, they don't just build pools and sell hot tubs. They build long-term relationships. Again, find them online at burtonpools.com.
So I've been waiting to tell this story all morning here on a Too Stupid Thursday. The Pickle Monster is America's great next supervillain. It's going around terrorizing New Jersey delis, bobbing for pickles. A recent story in the northeastern area. Police are looking for a guy that's, again, doing these in these different delis as a social media prank. Not only is that story wild, but listen to this employee interview caught after the incident.
And then all of a sudden I hear splash. And I look over and his head's soaked. He's walking out the door and there's pickle juice all over the floor.
Can you imagine being an employee in that situation and a customer just comes in and just puts his head in the pickle jar and then walks out? I don't know what I do or what I'd react. I'd obviously have to go clean it up, unfortunately. But
I remember as a kid they used to have like wood barrels. But they have big old pickles like you get at the concession stand. You go to a gas station, you go into places, and they'd have you just get them. Now, I guess they don't do it. I don't think you can ruin a pickle as much salt as in that pickle juice and brine.
Brine at that point.
But they don't, you don't see those anymore. I guess people don't eat pickles. I love pickles. It's one of my favorite things to munch on. It pains me, particularly those good deli pickles that you get, like if you go get a good sandwich somewhere and you'll be eating lunch with somebody or a good barbecue place will have them and they don't want theirs and you don't feel comfortable enough asking, hey, can I have that? Because those are good pickles. Love them.
It was something my dad taught me growing up. Dill. My mom liked the sweet ones. I took after my father and enjoyed the dills all growing up. But the big ones, like you said, when you get with the sub or sandwich or the big one, kids.
Well, those deli style or kosher pickle, whatever they're called.
And when you see someone toss away their tray like you're saying, they're like, "Can I have that if you're not going to eat it?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to be like a friend or a family member at your table, and a lot of times the people that don't like pickles will just throw it on your plate immediately as soon as they ask for a pickle, and then. But it's another thing to ask for a stranger. Hey, can I have your pickle? That's but in certain situations, there's probably certain delis across the United States that you'd want to do that. But that's going on. It doesn't sound like they've caught the young man yet, but he is probably going to get in trouble at some point. What do you charge him with?
I don't know. Disorderly conduct? I don't know.
Obstruction of justice? I have no idea. But evidently, police are on the prowl for this guy that's been in through the media that has made its way. It's these trends, man. One kid does something on social media, then everyone wants to do it. Your kids got caught up in some of that stuff yet? They're on TikTok, aren't they?
Not so much. Not yet. But they're on TikTok. They're on all that stuff. Snap. I mean, Facebook and Twitter so old school for them. That ain't nothing for them.
We got a text here from B in Clarksville on the McLarty Daniel hotline. My dad reminded me about taking us to the Atkins Pickle Festival years ago. I have not been to that in quite some time. I don't know when they do that anymore, but that was something fun back in the day that apparently we went to. I don't remember it, but apparently that was something that we did as a family.
Well, I remember early on in my radio career, that was one of the places we'd go and set up and do a live remote or take the radio station out to. Is the Atkins Pickle Fest when I worked in Russellville. So that's a big deal down there.
Yeah. If Ryan and Prairie Grove suggests, probably don't want to ask for a stranger's pickle in that situation.
Probably not.
Good text from.
Better know him a little better than that.
Yeah. As we wrap up today's show here on the Morning Rush, and again, we appreciate all the texts, the calls that we've received on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Also, people that have been watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram as well. You can always listen to us on hitthatline.com and our Hit That Line Now app. Sam Pittman, again, discussed a lot of things, not just on Tuesday with the local media, but Arkansas as well. And one of the things that he talked about was bouncing back. And here's his way and his kind of how he forecasts doing that this fall.
We've got to shore up the offensive line. That was a big issue for us last year. We felt like our younger guys who played are going to be much better. And then, of course, we brought in 3 guys that we think are good players out of the portal. We felt like we needed to add a running back. We felt like we needed a quarterback on offense. Those things, I feel like we're in great shape with the guys we have on the team. Defensively, I think the one concern for the public would be our linebacker group. But being young doesn't mean you can't play. It just means you don't have the experience yet.
That's the biggest side on defense. Might be the biggest on the entire football team. I want to know who. I mean, you lost. Think about who you lost. You lost Chris Poopall to Ole Miss and Jaheim Thomas, who at one point might have finished the SEC leading tackler this past year. You plucked him away from Cincinnati. Now he's going back to play for Luke Fickell in Madison, Wisconsin. So that's the area that I'm like, all right. You brought in Sorey, you got Spence. What else you got there at that position group?
And your defense coordinator coaches that position, so that was a little bit troubling when you had that many defections. So that's a place that obviously I think is probably more troubling or concerning the quarterback, but we know the quarterback is the straw that stirs the drink. I brought up running back a few times. I think you got a lot of talent at running back. Who emerges? What order do the running backs come out in? So, I mean, I think there's a story really at every position group. And I think Chuck said it best earlier in the show. Why did you only win 4 games last year? Why did you not meet expectations? It's clear. It's simple. The offensive line. So we can watch quarterbacks and linebackers and running backs and, we can watch all this stuff. Don't skip watching the offensive line and trying to figure out, do they have 8 or 9 players that can really go there? Do you have enough SEC level talent to put your quarterback in a winning position?
Yeah, and you lost freshman Zuri Madison to a torn ACL. He's out for the season. Andrew Chambly doesn't look like he's going to be playing football for Arkansas this year. He played a good chunk of last season. Wasn't ready, but played nevertheless. So that is your setup in terms of early on the offensive line. Hopefully there's not many injuries, knock on wood, because that is a position group you can ill afford to lose other guys, regardless if they play tackle, center, or if they play guard.
Yeah. So, hey, we were talking about the state championship games earlier, and we mentioned some of the schools that were in that as well. I want to kind of go back to that. The Greenwood girls are going to be playing in the 5A girls state championship game. Bergman's got both of their teams, boys and girls, in there. The Norfolk girls are in. Marshall is in the boys state final. We mentioned Farmington boys and girls. So really all over our list here. I don't think I missed anyone. I think we got them all there. We're going to be well represented the next 3 days from all corners of the Morning Rush listening area in Hot Springs.
Yeah, and all in Hot Springs. They've been doing that since I was in high school.
Yeah, they had a 1 year break when they had the Sun Belt tournament there, and they moved it to Barton. They've had them in Alltel a year before, or several times, but it was in Pine Bluff for a number of years. But it's been in Hot Springs almost exclusively for 20 plus years.
The gym is like perfect for high school. Alltel's too big. Barton doesn't need to have any sporting events whatsoever.
Barton was just a necessity at that time.
Yeah, but it's a good setup for where it is in Hot Springs. I enjoyed going there for state championships back in the day.
And I like the way they're doing it now. They bring in the boys and the girls in by classification. They they can rotate the crowds in and out to make sure that everyone that wants to watch their team can. So that all gets underway today, the next 3 days in Hot Springs for the Arkansas High School State Championship game.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on the Morning Rush. We appreciate everyone joining us. If you missed any of our talks with Tom Murphy or Chuck Barrett, find it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. For all of us here on a Too Stupid Thursday, Ty Richardson, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back in these chairs tomorrow on a Fast Break Friday starting at 6 a.m.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley models